it's Gwen and I am back for episode 11 in my Maggie Holmes Monday series. I have gone ahead and prepared my page. I'm using this cut file from Cut to You and this photo of Caitlin. Okay, so hello. I am interrupting this process video with a super quick update on the Marigold chipboard. So those of you who would have seen the unboxing video will know that I found a problem with my chipboard when I was unboxing that collection, including, and you can see the problem here, the printing does not align with the cutting in the chipboard piece. So it's very obvious here and super obvious here with the deer. See how the back leg is missing? So an update to that. Initially, when I sent American Crafts the email, their first response back was, oh, that's the way that the artist intended it. It's meant to be whimsy. But I do think that there was some miscommunications in that response, because when I replied back and went, no, I understand, for example, how this one, how that, I hope you can see that. See how that extends out? But then even then, see, it's white on this side, which you wouldn't expect. But I was saying that I understand that the design of the chipboard will extend out past the cut lines. And that's actually a good thing, because it means that when you do cut the design, you aren't going to get white edges. But there is no way that the artist intended it to be that far out. And even actually the example I gave them in my response was the church. So see here, the church, the steeple part of the church is left behind when you pull out the chipboard. I hope you can see that. See how you can see that the steeple part? Well, it doesn't end up going on it doesn't even end up going on my little church there. So when I replied back with maybe perhaps a bit more clearer explanation, they did then acknowledge that, yes, okay, the alignment could be better for this. And they sent me a new pack. So if we compare, sorry, I should have opened this before. If we compare, say, the deer, let's pull this one out. See this one, when you pull this one out, see how the legs on the deer are exactly aligned? I hope you can see that. If you compare that one to this little guy, see how there's all this white on the edge? Look at the ear. So this is what it should look like, and this was what my original pack looked like. So I'm so glad they did that. They did send it all the way out here to Australia. I will just peel that off now. That's actually how I store my chipboard. Side note. And if you look at, even if you look at together, so see how the G runs in line with the die cut? Not so on this one. So yeah, that's an update for you. They were very nice. Yeah, apart from that initial, at first I was like, well, no, hang on a minute. But yeah, as soon as I replied back and took some more photos and was very specific in my examples, yeah, they were very open and very kind and very willing to send a replacement. So yeah, so I will be able to, might be able to salvage maybe one or two from here. Like maybe that one looks all right to me. Perhaps this one. There are a couple that will be okay, but the majority of them I just will not use. So, but I am very glad that that was able to be sorted out and we can get back to the creating. So actually, before I get on to creating the layout, I did think it was a really great opportunity to show you all how I store my chipboard. So I found that any of the chipboard that comes in a 12 by 12 sheet like this, so essentially any of the Maggie Holmes, I think crepe paper, I thought there was another one too, can't think of it off the top of my head. Any that come in this 12 by 12 format, I was finding that I just wasn't using it. It was staying in my stash and they were all staying on the sheet and I was reluctant to get them onto my layouts. And you know what? I think that was because I couldn't audition things. You all know that I like to trial all the things in all the places, and I just found that I couldn't do that when they were attached to a chipboard sheet like this one. So my workaround for that, whenever I get a new collection in my stash, I go ahead and I actually remove all of the chipboard pieces off of this backing sheet. I one by one peel them away, and then you can see here, which is why I left it in, I peel away that adhesive backing layer, and it actually comes off really easily. Just use my finger and stick the sticky stays on my finger, and then if I turn my finger ever so slightly, it kind of just peels away. Sometimes, as you can see in this sheet, the actual, like that last layer with the adhesive actually stayed with the sheet. So like that one, yeah, so it's even quicker when that happens. So yeah, it doesn't take me very long, and I have sped this footage up pretty fast for you, just so you can get an idea. I just go and I go and do that to every single piece in the pack, and then I store it in a little Ziploc baggie like this one. And I just found A, it stores better for me, and B, that I was using my collection, my chipboard pieces, so much more because I could tip them all out and add them to my layouts and audition them in all the places. So yeah, there's that. Now I do also have a little bit of sewing footage for you for this layout. I did just take a little bit of time to add this in here for you so that you could see. I'm just adding a simple straight stitch all around the border of my page. I love to create pages with a frame with a border on the end. So even if that's not a pattern paper edge, it will very often be a stitched edge. So yeah, I just find that it finishes it off really beautifully, and it just gives it that final kind of polished look, like a frame, I guess, like you would frame a photo or a layout. Anyway, yeah, so that's that. And I've also got a little bit of footage here of me doing the same thing with my photo. So I do this, oh, I cannot think of the last layout. I think the last layout that I didn't stitch around my photo was one where it had like a face or something important along the photo edge. So I felt like I couldn't. So then I added my stitching to the photo mat. So yeah, it's been a long time since I have not stitched around the photo for my layout. And the stitching on the photo and the stitching on the background, I find just really pulls the page together. And for me, it adds a little bit of like that handmade element, which sounds ridiculous, I know, because scrapbook layouts are handmade. So adding stitching, how could it be more handmade? But I don't know, for me, it just feels like it is. Okay, so with all of that preparation work done, it's time to get on with the layout. And I was super inspired by that one sheet in the 12 by 12 paper pad with all of the bows on it. I know that I'm going to use all of those up in no time at all, because you all know that I am all about them bows. And I thought, because I had the kind of like the wreath style design for my cut file, I thought, well, why not just work with that and have it dictate the design for the page, and then I can really just add my photo and then embellish the wreath. So just add all of my little details on top of that pretty floral wreath that I already have going on. So for that, I had a couple of ideas. Firstly, I was a bit time poor when I was creating this page. So to help make the page come together more quickly, I decided that I would only back the flower part of the wreath. So see how all the leaves there are remaining open? So I did that because I didn't want to take the time to back all of those leaves, because I knew I would have to do that. I need to do them all separately, and that would take a little bit of time. So I thought, you know what, just do the flowers, and then we'll leave the leaves open. I also thought, because I was going to be doing that, I don't want the cut file to get lost on my background. So a white background here probably wouldn't have been the best choice. And I did audition, actually. I auditioned quite a few pattern papers for the background, but they were all just a bit busy. So it was kind of like when it was white on white, so a white background, it kind of got lost and faded into the background. And then when I placed it onto a pattern paper background, it just was, yeah, I lost the definition in the cut file because of the print in the background pattern paper. Hope that makes sense. So what I decided on was this pretty baby blue kind of background. And I love that. It's kind of like an eggshell blue. It's so pretty. I need to get more of it because it's for, especially for Easter style pages, I think it's a really nice fit. And I'm really loving that because I feel like it's the perfect balance between the cut file standing out and being decorative and a pretty feature, but also that it sort of blends with the page and it fits in with the design of the page and the style of the page, and it supports my photo and my story that I'm telling, because that's kind of why I make them. I don't make cut files just to have them be the, you know, the feature of the page, or like for them just for the sake of it. I make them because they help me tell my stories, and then I share them because I hope that they might help you tell your stories too. So yeah, there's that. Anyway, I sidetracked. So I'm just going ahead now. Things are getting serious. I am locking into position a lot of these little details. I haven't needed a lot to add to this page, actually. The photo has taken up quite a lot of space there on the left, and I've really just created two embellishment clusters, one top left of the photo, the other bottom right of the photo. And those clusters, you'll notice too, they kind of fit with that heart shape of the cut file. So really, I'm hoping, the plan is that your eye is drawn around the page in the same shape, in the same way, that with your eyes following the heart shape. I hope that makes sense. So I've really just built everything based on that heart shape and layering up bits and pieces to make it, you know, a bit more pretty, a few more details, and of course lots of lovely layers, which I really love. So yeah, so this page ends up having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think 7 bows on it. Oh my goodness, how many bows can fit on a layout? How many bows have you put on a layout? I think this is a record for me. I think this is the most, 7. If you've made one with more than 7, I simply must see it. So you'll need to tag me on social or send me a message or an email, because I absolutely want to see it. You all know how much I love them, so I'd be super inspired by that. Now, you also might have noticed that a few of these embellishments, like the little bees there and the black floral piece on the right, that little tiny floral black piece on the right, they're all from that chipboard sheet. And this is probably a really good example, actually, of the kind of pieces that generally I wouldn't have used straight away, or maybe even at all. Often I would get to the end of a collection and have used all the like larger signature pieces, but forgotten about all the little details, all those little tiny pieces. So this is another reason why I really like to just get everything off of that sheet and have it kicking around in a little baggie or in a pretty bowl on my desk, because I've just found that it really, really works for me in terms of being able to use up goodies. I did absolutely totally forget to tell you too that I am working with the Marigold collection. So this is a fairly new collection, but stash busting doesn't always have to be for older supplies. Sometimes it's actually nice to get some of the newer things in our stash onto layouts straight away while they're, you know, while you're super inspired by them and they're fresh and new. And as you can see, it's all coming together really, really well. I do adore the puffy gold stickers that are in this collection. They are divine. They are like the sweetest shade of gold, not too yellow, and they're kind of a little bit matte. They're not super like mirror shiny. They're more, yeah, like matte shiny, I guess is the best way to describe them. They're so lovely. I will say though that I have used my Scotch Quick Dry adhesive, a liquid adhesive, to glue them all down because I know that they'll come up if I don't, so in the future. So definitely would recommend a liquid adhesive for that. And it's at this point that I kind of decided that Delightful wasn't going to be my full title. I did want to add something else. So yeah, I did brainstorm that a little bit because Delightful was stuck down at this point. So I did go, in the end, I did go with Delightful Day. Yes, Delightful Day. I had to check that. You'll see in a moment here how it really fills out the heart shape at the bottom there underneath my photo. You'll also see that I do add one more bow. So that's 6. And there are actually 7, so I'll let you see where the 7th bow ends up in the close-up images at the end of the video. And as I wrap up the page, thank you so much for being here, my creative friends. If you like the way that I scrapbook or the way that I chat about the way that I scrapbook, please give this video a like. And if you haven't already, feel free to subscribe to see more videos just like this one. Yep, thanks again, my creatives. I'll see you next time. Bye.